took shelter in a deserted cabin, and woke up to find its reclusive owner was a legend she'd read about. Snow swirled through the French Alps, blanketing St. Lys in a howling storm. Clara Vignier trudged uphill, her braided scarf damp, a worn copy of The Winter Muse tucked in her coat. Her bookshop in the village lay dark, her heart heavier from a breakup. The road vanished, her car stuck in a drift, and a stone cabin's faint glow beckoned through the pines. She knocked. No answer, then pushed the creaky door open. The hearth crackled, books lined the walls, but the cabin felt empty, its air thick with secrets. Clara sank onto a rug, her scarf loose, the book's pages fluttering. Exhaustion claimed her, the storm's roar fading. Dawn broke, and a shadow moved. A man, tall, in a wool coat, stood by the hearth, ink-stained fingers clutching a pen. "You're awake," he said, voice low, humming a folk tune. Clara froze, her book slipping. His gray eyes matched the author's photo in The Winter Muse. Lucien Moreau, the legendary writer, presumed dead. "You're him," she whispered, heart racing. He set the pen down, his hum faltering. "Just Lucien now." Outside, a car's engine growled in the snow, its driver unseen. Clara's scarf tightened, suspense curling like smoke in the cabin's warmth. Inside. The cabin smelled of cedar and ink, its hearth casting shadows on Lucien's wool coat. Clara sat, her braided scarf damp, the Winter Muse open on her lap. "Nah, you wrote this," she said, voice trembling, pages worn from her readings. Lucien nodded, his ink-stained fingers tracing a book spine. "A lifetime ago," he said, humming a soft folk tune. And, she studied him, graying hair, eyes heavy with grief, yet kind. "They said you died," she said. He shrugged, stoking the fire. "Easier than living sometimes." Clara's heart ached, her breakup's sting echoing his words. She clutched her scarf, fingers brushing the book's annotations, her hopes scribbled in margins. Hi. Emile, a boy from her bookshop, burst in, his knit cap dusted with snow. "Clara, you're okay," he gasped, clutching a sketchbook. Lucien offered him cocoa, his hum steadying the boy. "Stay warm," he said, eyes on Clara, a spark igniting. A letter slid under the door, addressed to LM, in sharp script. Lucien's hum stopped, his hand tense. Clara glanced outside. A black car idled, its gloved driver watching. Suspense tightened, but Lucien's gaze held her, a quiet promise in the cabin's glow. St. Lys's cafe steamed, its windows fogged, lavender bread scenting the air. Clara brought Lucien, her scarf loose, Emile sketching nearby, his knit cap crooked. Margot, the owner, slid them tea, her apron flour-dusted. "You're no ghost," she said to Lucien, eyes sharp. He hummed, ink-stained fingers around a mug. "Not yet," he said, glancing at Clara. She clutched The Winter Muse, its pages her comfort. "Why hide?" she asked, voice soft. Lucien's eyes darkened, a lost love's shadow passing. "Some stories hurt too much to tell." Clara nodded, her breakup's wound raw, their silence a bridge. Emile showed Lucien a sketch, a cabin in snow. "For you," he said, cap slipping. Lucien's hum warmed, a smile breaking. Theo, a bespectacled teen, rushed in. "Clara, someone's asking for a writer," he said, laptop under arm. Lucien tensed, his mug still. Clara's scarf tightened, the letter's sharp script flashing in her mind. Margot's tray paused, suspense coiling in the cafe's chatter. Outside, the black car circled, its gloved driver, Victor, watching. Clara's hand brushed Lucien's, their spark a shield in the village's heart. Clara's bookshop creaked, its shelves packed with novels and snow dusting the windows. Lucien helped stack books, his wool coat brushing her scarf, ink-stained fingers steady. "You love stories," he said, humming, eyeing her annotations in The Winter Muse. Clara blushed, her breakup's pain easing. "Yours most," she said, voice low. Emile sorted comics, his knit cap low, sketching Lucien's hands. "You're like a hero," he said, eyes bright. Lucien chuckled, his hum soft, but his gaze flickered. Victor's letter burned in his pocket. Clara noticed, her scarf tight. "What's he want?" she asked, pointing to the letter. Lucien sighed. "My past." Theo burst in, glasses fogged, holding a news clip. Lucien Moreau, vanished after scandal. "Is this you?" he asked. Lucien nodded, his hum faltering. Clara's heart raced, her book trembling. A note slipped under the door. "Give me the manuscript." Suspense gripped the shop, Victor's car idling outside. Clara's hand found Lucien's, their bond a quiet vow amid the book's whispers, St. Lis's snow falling heavier. The cabin's hearth glowed, snow piling outside St. Lisa's peaks. Clara read Lucien's unpublished draft, her scarf loose, the winter muse beside her. "Kissy, this is beautiful," she said, voice soft, his words weaving her heart. Lucien sat across, ink-stained fingers tracing a mug, humming a folk tune. "You see me?" he said, eyes warm, a spark kindling. Emile slept on a rug, his knit cap askew, sketchbook open to a cabin drawing. Clara smiled, her breakup fading in Lucien's glow. "Why stop writing?" she asked. His hum faltered, a lost love's name, Eloise, on his lips. "She was my muse," he said, voice raw. Clara's hand brushed his, romance stirring. A crash outside. Victor's gloved hand broke a window, stealing a manuscript. Lucien leapt up, his coat flapping. Stay here," he told Clara, chasing into the snow. Suspense surged, Emile waking, his cap falling. Clara clutched her book, her heart with Lucien, the hearth's warmth no match for the storm's chill. The frozen lake gleamed, St. Lisa's pines snow-dusted. Clara and Lucien walked, her scarf fluttering, his wool coat heavy, ink-stained fingers in his pockets. "You didn't catch him," she said, the winter muse in her bag. Lucien nodded, humming low. "Victor wants my words, not me." His eyes held grief, but her presence softened it. They skated, her boots wobbly, his hands steadying her. "You wrote my heart," she said, laughing, their breath clouding. Lucien's hum warmed, his gaze intense. "You're my story now," he said, their lips brushing, romance blooming on the ice. Emile watched from the shore, his knit cap bright, sketching their dance. "Hey!" A car's engine growled, Victor's, circling the lake. Lucien pulled Clara close, his coat shielding her. "He won't stop," he said, voice tense. "Aye." Suspense coiled, Emile's sketch falling in the snow. Clara's scarf tightened, their love a fragile flame against Victor's shadow, the lake's ice creaking beneath them. The chapel's candles flickered, St. Lisa's stone walls hushed. Clara and Lucien knelt, her scarf soft, his wool coat brushing the pew. "You're not alone," she said. The winter muse is in her lap, its pages worn. Lucien hummed, ink-stained fingers tracing a hymn. "You make me believe that," he said, eyes warm, romance deepening. Emile drew angels, his knit cap low, voice soft. "You're staying, right?" Lucien nodded, his hum steady, a fatherly spark for the boy. Clara's heart swelled, her breakup a distant ache. Margot slipped in, her apron gone. "Victor's asking for you," she warned, bread scent lingering. Lucien's hand tensed, a stolen manuscript flashing in his mind. A note fell from the hymn book, last chance Moreau. Suspense rose, Clara's scarf tight, Emile's pencil pausing. Lucien's hum held them, their bond a sanctuary in the chapel's glow, Victor's car circling St. Lisa's snowy streets. St. Lisa's winter festival twinkled, lanterns swaying in the snow. Clara and Lucien strolled, her scarf bright, his wool coat dusted, ink-stained fingers brushing hers. "This feels like your stories," she said. And the winter muse in her bag, heart light. Lucien hummed, a folk tune, smiling. "You're rewriting them," he said, their hands linking, romance sparking. Emile ran ahead, his knit cap bouncing, tossing snowballs. "Catch Lucien," he called, sketchbook tucked away. Lucien laughed, tossing one back, his hum warm. Clara's eyes glowed, their family forming. Theo texted, a photo of Victor at a cafe, gloved hand on a stolen page. "He's here," he warned. Victor emerged, his gloves stark, voice cold. "Give me the rest, Moreau." Lucien stood firm, Clara beside him. "They're not yours," she said, scarf fluttering. Suspense pulsed, the festival's lanterns flickering, their love a beacon in St. Lisa's snowy night. The library's lamps glowed, St. Lisa's shelves whispering. Clara sat with Lucien, her scarf loose, the winter muse open. Theo's laptop showed a news clip. Moreau's scandal, Eloise's death. "Why fake your death?" Clara asked, voice soft. Lucien's ink-stained fingers trembled, his hum low. "Guilt," he said. "I couldn't save her." Emile sketched nearby, his knit cap low, voice quiet. "You're not bad," he said, offering a drawing. Lucien's eyes warmed, his hum steadying. Clara's hand found his, romance anchoring them. A manuscript page slipped from a book, Victor's glove print on it. "He's close," Lucien said, suspense rising. Theo rushed in, glasses fogged. "Victor's at the festival." Clara's scarf tightened, her book heavy. Lucien stood, his wool coat firm, their bond a shield in the library's hush, St. Lisa's snow falling thicker. The cafe's steam curled, lavender bread scenting St. Lisa's air. Clara showed Margot Victor's photo, her scarf tight, Lucien beside her, his wool coat damp. "He's hunting you," Margot said, her tray steady. Lucien hummed, ink-stained fingers clutching a mug. "He wants my legacy," he said, eyes on Clara. Emile colored, his knit cap crooked, sketching a hero. "That's you, Lucien," he said, smiling. Clara's heart warmed, her breakup fading. "We'll protect you," she said, hand on Lucien's. Villagers gathered, their faces fierce. "He's not welcome," Margot declared, bread knife glinting. Victor entered, his gloves stark, voice smooth. "Hand over the manuscripts." Lucien stood, voice firm. "They're gone." Clara stepped forward, scarf bright. "Leave!" The cafe roared, Victor retreating, suspense lingering in the steam, their love a steady flame. Chancho, the cabin's hearth crackled, St. Lisa's snow piling high. Clara and Lucien sat, Emile asleep, his knit cap on a rug. "You don't have to hide," Clara said, her scarf soft, the winter muse beside her. Lucien's ink-stained fingers brushed hers, his hum low. "You're my home," he said, eyes raw. They stood by the window, snow falling, her scarf grazing his wool coat. "I love you," he said, voice steady, their lips meeting, romance blooming. A memory flashed, Eloise's laugh, now Clara's. "You're my muse," he whispered. Emile stirred, smiling, his sketchbook open. A car's engine growled, Victor's circling. Lucien's hum tensed, his arm around Clara. Suspense coiled, her book trembling, their love a vow against the storm's chill, St. Lisa's pines whispering their strength. The chapel's candles glowed, St. Lisa's pews packed. Clara and Lucien stood, her scarf bright, his wool coat firm, ink-stained fingers linked with hers. "We're together," she said, the winter muse in her bag. Lucien hummed, voice steady. "Always," he said, romance anchoring them. Emile drew heroes, his knit cap low, voice bold. "We'll stop him." Margot nodded, her apron off, villagers murmuring. "Ah," Theo rushed in, glasses askew. "Victor's at the lake, burning papers." Lucien's hum faltered, his manuscripts at risk. Clara squeezed his hand. We'll fight. A note fell from the altar. No more hiding. Suspense surged, Emil's pencil pausing, Clara's scarf tight. Tenacious say. Lucian faced the crowd, his wool coat a shield, their love rallying St. Lisa's heart against Victor's shadow. Nay. The frozen lake sparkled, St. Lisa's festival lanterns dim. Clara and Lucien ran, her scarf fluttering, his wool coat flapping, ink-stained fingers clenched. Effatad. Victor stood, burning manuscripts, his gloves stark, flames licking the ice. You're too late, he sneered, voice cold. Lucian lunged, grabbing a page, his hum fierce. These are mine. Clara pulled him back, her scarf bright. You're enough, she said, voice bold. Villagers arrived, Margot's bread knife glinting, Emil's knit cap bouncing, Theo filming. Victor swung, but Lucien dodged, pinning him, ink stains smudging Victor's glove. The crowd surged, Victor fleeing, his car screeching. In all an arm. Suspense eased, Clara's book safe, their romance aflame on the lake's edge, St. Lisa's snow falling softly, Emil's sketch soaring in his hand. The bookshop's shelves glowed, St. Lisa's snow easing. Clara read Lucien's saved manuscript, her scarf loose, the winter muse beside her. You're back, she said, voice warm, his words alive. Lucien's ink-stained fingers trembled, his hum soft. Because of you, he said, eyes on her. Emil sketched, his knit cap low, voice quiet. You're a family, he said, drawing them. Clara's heart swelled, her breakup gone. Theo found a clip. Victor, a disgraced publisher, sought Moreau's work. He's done, Theo said, glasses glinting. Suspense faded, Lucien's wool coat soft against Clara. A letter arrived, Lucien's publisher begging his return. Clara's scarf tightened, her book steady, their love a choice in the bookshop's hush, St. Lisa's lights glowing outside. The cafe's steam rose, lavender bread warm in St. Lisa's dusk. Clara stood, her scarf bright, Lucien beside her, his wool coat firm. I'm Clara Vigna, she said, voice clear, and Lucien's no ghost. Emil clapped, his knit cap bouncing, sketches scattered. Margot hugged her, apron soft. You're ours. Theo showed a video, Victor's car fleeing town. Lucien's hum grew bold, ink-stained fingers on Clara's shoulder. We won, he said, their romance blazing. Villagers cheered, their faces warm. You wrote my heart, Clara said, kissing him, her book forgotten. Lucian held a new manuscript titled Clara's Light. For you, he said, voice raw. Suspense gone, their love filled the cafe. St. Lisa's snow a gentle veil, Emil's sketch a vow of family. The cabin's hearth glowed, St. Lisa's pines snow-dusted. Clara and Lucien sat, Emil asleep, his knit cap on a rug. You're my everything, Lucian said, his wool coat soft, humming a folk tune. Clara's scarf glowed, the winter muse framed. You're my story, she said, eyes warm. They stood by the hearth, her scarf brushing his ink-stained fingers. Stay, she said, offering a ring, engraved lease. Its weight, a vow. Lucien nodded, tears falling, kissing her fiercely, his hum steady. Margot called, a festival to celebrate Lucien. Emil woke, clapping. You're my dad now. A final memory flashed, Eloise's smile, now Clara's. Their love was home, the cabin's glow their anchor, St. Lisa's storm a distant song. St. Lisa's festival blazed, lanterns twinkling in the snow. Clara, Lucien, and Emil walked, her scarf bright, his wool coat soft, Emil's knit cap bouncing. Margot served soup, her apron warm, villagers dancing. Your family, she said, hugging Clara, her bread scent lingering. Clara helped Emil toss snowballs, their laughter ringing, Lucien's hum blending. We built this, he said, his ring on Clara's finger. Together, she said, leaning into him, The Winter Muse Safe. Theo filmed, glasses glinting, sharing their story. A publisher offered to print Clara's Light, Lucien's gift to St. Lys. Love glowed, the festival's lanterns their legacy. Emile's sketch a star in the snowy night, St. Lys's heart alive. The frozen lake sparkled, St. Lys's peaks gleaming. Clara and Lucien, married under pines, ran a library. Clara's light on its shelves, Emile's sketches on the walls. Margot baked, her bread a gift. Theo taught kids coding, his glasses bright. No shadows lingered, only love. By the lake, Clara's scarf glowed, Lucien's wool coat soft, Emile's knit cap glinting. We found each other, Clara said, the Winter Muse framed, a relic of their start. Lucien hummed, hand in hers. Forever. Emile ran, his sketch soaring, their family etched in starlight. Yeah. Thank you for joining Timeline Stories for She took shelter in a deserted cabin and woke up to find its reclusive owner was a legend she'd read about. A tale of refuge, love, and legacy. If Clara and Lucien's journey stirred your soul, subscribe, share, join our community. Every heart finds its story. Every love shines. See you in the next tale.